I've got the joy, 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 joy down in the middle of my brain. Down in the middle of my brain. Down in the middle of my brain. Yeah, we've got joy. We learned this week from Michael Hendricks that joy is essential to our growth as humans and our growth in Christ. And that's an essential component that is an incredible motivator God put in us to naturally want to be better humans. To be more like Christ. And I'm so grateful for Michael's teaching this week. It's just really been mind-blowing. Haha, a little humor there. Just in his way of presenting all these concepts about the brain and how the brain functions, and how if it's patterned well, it just opens up the ability to love others well, which is a huge goal in being a Christian, to love others well and to love God well. In order to that, we have to be healthy emotionally, and ironically, that emotion is held and stored a lot in our brain. And so it's been awesome to learn about that and to dissect that a little bit. Michael said so many amazing one-liners this week, but one thing that really kind of jumped out at me this week was his idea that he said that our churches need to be a place where people can be remothered. And I just thought that was a really interesting concept. And because according to Michael, we get so much of our identity and healthy emotional patterns through our mothers, even when we were babies, and of course growing up too as young children. But oftentimes now in our context, in our current age and day, kids are not getting that from their moms very much, and they're growing up in single-parent homes. There's a huge disconnect with the way God's designed for the family in this process, and as a result, people are not getting the connections in their brain to joy that they need to stay emotionally healthy. And so I found that idea really fascinating in some senses, that while the church has a big job to do to help people reconnect with the way God made them in their identities as sons and daughters of a living God. And that should be a huge component of discipleship, but that doesn't come through just teaching and exposition. It really comes through life-on-life discipleship and actually looking people in the eye. And he says also that joy needs to be seen in your face, and that people are deeply moved by community and knowing that they belong in community. And so I think it's just as a powerful component, such a challenge to our churches today, with so many broken people coming through our doors. And a challenge to YWAM as well, coming through our doors, needing true discipleship in this context of community, and really needing to be remothered. Their brains need to be rewired. Some connections need to be repaired. And YWAM is poised to do that. And I think that that's why we've seen a lot of success over the years with discipleship in our context, because we get to do daily life with people way more so than just them going to a church service on a Sunday and getting some left brain teaching. They're getting right brained activity in our context, being on outreaches together, living together, doing work duties together. It's all transformational in our identity. And even in this quarter, I've experienced that, being on a work duty team and just being like a part of something that people that work hard. I've been so impressed by that. That's a group identity. We work hard, but with joy, and we serve. And I've really picked that up even just from this quarter, again, being back on work duty. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, so our challenge then in our context, always with YWAM and even me with the School of Missions, would be really getting to know people, building relational equity with them. And when I sit face to face with them, that I would show them that I'm pleased to be with them and not in a rush to go off to the next thing. And it's kind of hard when you're a leader too. You've got so many responsibilities you're juggling, and so many people want your attention. But on those one-on-ones with my staff or with the students, I just hope I can be super intentional to listen and practice VCR that he taught us to, just validating people's emotions, comforting them if they need comforted through that, and help them to rewire their brain through that process of just being there and being in their life and loving on them well. And I think that I can do that, and that honestly, as a Christian, that's our primary call. So 3 questions I'd like to ask in conjunction with this teaching might be, what are some examples in my own life where I've been remothered, so I can share those with students? Who in my life currently needs this new remothering dynamic, and who do I know that is already doing this so well?